Hello everyone and welcome to day 3 of building a mini library. Today we are focusing on book 1. Book 1 is basically just making a bunch of little books for the mini library. So here are the pages for the mini book that I'm going to fold into a book. So let's just get that started. This is also your reminder to see the previous episodes in case you missed a couple, because I have built a lot of things in the previous episodes. And now we are at the home stretch and we're almost done with this mini library, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like completed. So I'm just folding along the dotted lines for each page, and then I get the little edge of this and I glue it, kind of like to bind the book together. Let me get a purse out, put glue along the edge of the spine of the book, and then put a purse to hold it together and let it get glued. And while that is happening, I'm going to be like those Food Network shows and show you the completed product. I made all of these books yesterday because it is so time consuming. So this is the book. It has like little pages and a little cover. Some of them are different sizes. We have an extra small one right here, and we have, I think, 11 of these books made. So this is the last book that I have to make for book 1. While we're having book 1 drying, like the spine is drying, let's move on to book 2. Book 2 basically is creating like the illusion of a book. So I already pre-cut all of these papers beforehand. It took me a solid hour to do that, by the way. And now you just kind of have to glue it together, and it's a very simple process, which I appreciate because a good chunk of this whole project is not simple. So you glue the folds, and then you just glue it together to create the illusion of a book stack, which I think is so clever. Can you also tell that I'm like calmer now compared to previous episodes? Like sofa chair, red chair, oh, God, that was the worst. But like now things are like calmer, at least for now. It's like the illusion of a book stack. It even has fake paper. It's awesome. So I'm gonna do that for the rest of these. And another book stack. Is this one okay? One of the pages is not sticking. And there we go. We have little books made to eventually put onto our bookshelf. And like a true Food Network show, I'm going to show you how many other book stacks that I have created yesterday. And there are more that I can't reach. But these are all different types of book stacks that are created that I'm going to be putting onto the shelves. Now let's finish book 1, because the spine should be a little bit dry. But basically, once it's dry, then you paste it onto the book cover. And that is book 1, my friends. So now we are moving on to book 3. So with book 3, you basically have to get a tiny piece of wood and then you wrap the cover around it. So that is what I'm going to do right now. So you just cover the paper in glue and then paste the wood onto it, and then you have a tiny book. And I did that with these books as well. So now we have a bunch of little books for book 3. Book 3 also has a smaller piece of wood that you glue onto covers with. So let's do that. And then you get a mini book. And I did these little books as well, and they are so adorable and tiny. So now we are on to book 4. We have 2 different sizes. We have this tall and skinny size, and then we have this decently bigger size. So for the smaller pieces, we have to actually glue 2 pieces together to create a thicker type of book look. So I'm gonna be doing that for a while, and then we will be able to glue the covers onto it. So now that I glued all these different pieces together to create a thicker book, I'm going to be putting the book covers onto the book. So I pre-cut these beforehand because, like I said, it was very time consuming. And these are for the bigger covers and these are for the tinier covers. And then I'm going to cover, which one's a dry one? I'm going to cover one book, like so. And now it's a little book. So I'm gonna do that for the rest of them and hope for the best. Hopefully some of these are dry and won't fall apart. Now that I have all these mini books done, now I'm going to move on to the larger books, but I'll just show you a few. This one is my favorite because it is a little Vincent van Gogh book. Look how cute. But now I'm going to work on the bigger books while I listen to my audiobook. I just realized that I am supposed to glue 2 pieces of these woods onto these books to create a thicker book, similar to what I did with the little books, and then I'm supposed to glue the cover onto it. Did not realize that mistake, so now I'm going to do that. Now that these pieces are glued together, I'm going to glue the book covers back onto the wood. Basically, like what I've been doing for this entire episode is just gluing book covers onto books. Like so. So I finished covering all of these books and realized that I don't have a cover for one of them. I don't know where it went. Maybe I lost it. Maybe I accidentally glued 2 book covers, but this one is bare. So I think I'm just gonna paint it with a Sharpie and that'll be the book cover. I really don't know where that paper went. Since everything's so tiny, it's so easily lost. So there we go. We have our pink book among other books that I have glued together. Now we can move these to the side and start painting one. So I got all the supplies out for painting one. Basically, you just glue the frames onto the papers. Seems simple enough. This is making like my hands black. Weird. I don't know what would be best to use this glue, which is very wet, or Elmer's glue. Let's try one with this glue. I think I'm going to regret it, but let's see. Let's just put it on each corner. Just a tiny little dot. Very tiny. paste it like so. Oh yeah, okay. I think we're gonna use this glue and do it like that for each one. The last frame. There we go. So, that one was pretty simple. These are some of the frames. Very tiny, very adorable, all different types of paintings. And now we're going to painting number 2. Painting 2 uses wooden frames. I'm pretty sure it's the same exact thing as painting 1, except for this one we're going to have little stands on the back of, I think, all of them. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Let's just put the frames onto the paintings and then we'll figure out the next step. I can't wait for this to be all assembled together. If anyone wants to do this as well, please tag me in photos if you ever have the energy and the patience to complete a mini library. I would love to see it. Oh my goodness! This painting is of a deer. It's a deer painting. This one's gonna be a little bit more difficult because the frame is so tiny. I'm gonna have to crack out the tweezers. One last frame! And then I have to read the instructions and see what happens next. So I'm going to be putting 3 frame stands onto 3 different paintings. Let's do this. So there we go. We have some cute little paintings done. Now it tells me I have to do painting 3. So remember like 5 minutes ago when I painted these pink because I thought they were leftovers? Yeah, they were for painting number 3. So now I am going to glue these paintings onto these pieces of wood, and then I will be done with all the different paintings. There we go. Painting number 1 and painting number 2. On the blocks of wood, I painted pink because I'm smart. So now we are moving on to plant 1. Plant 1 intimidates me, I'll be honest. I'm going to cut this in half because we have to use green as well for plant number 2. And they want me to cut it somewhat like this. And they want me to create like a grass effect. This grass looks terrible, but I mean, whatever. They didn't really tell me how I should do this. I feel like I'm like touching seaweed. It has like the same exact texture as seaweed. Okay, now that we poorly made grass, we are going to... It's too tall. It's too tall. They want us to lay out these stamens and roll it up. Okay, this looks bad. This looks bad. So my camera's memory card got full and I don't know where I left off, but I put these flowers together. So it says the next step is to just shove it into this vase and then you're done. Oh, but you bring some leaves down to make it look like it's a real little bouquet. Oh, look how cute. Aww. Okay, so the first bouquet is done. now we have plant 2. I already cut the grass beforehand. I cut the 2 yellow pieces, and I need to cut 6 pieces of squares. So I'm just gonna cut across like this. 6. So it wants me to fold somewhat diagonally and to wrap and glue it along the stamen. That's like difficult. Do you see this? Do you see this tiny little thing I'm holding? If this is working, I'm gonna be so happy. So I finished making all of my little flowers, and now it wants me to bunch them together and fold it over so they're all on one side. So it's a cute little bouquet, and then we're going to twist it into the grass that I made. I'm gonna put a little dot of glue here. Oh, spilling everywhere. So it glues together. I don't know if you can see it. It's so tiny. And then we just put it into the little vase. They want me to separate the greens to make it look more spread out like this. But I kind of like it like this, because they kind of remind me of tulips. So there you go. I did the 2 little plants, and now on day 4, we are going to work on assembling my mini library. Yes, we're almost at the finish line. I am almost done with my mini library. I just have to set everything up together and put all the things that I made into my library, and then it'll be done. I just have to do the lighting for it, which I don't know how I'm going to do, but we'll figure it out. But that is it for day 3. I hope you enjoyed watching me make more miniature little cute doodads. And if you have not seen previous episodes, be sure to watch that as well. If you enjoy this type of content, please leave a wonderful comment down below and we can start a conversation if you have any questions about the mini library whatsoever in terms of assembly, where I got it, etc. A lot of it will be linked down below in my description to answer your questions, but if you have any questions, I'll be sure to answer them in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Here's a little last look at my cute little flowers that I made. Bye!